I would like to ask Niruddh Wasawa
Yes.
how crocodile conservation started in this Charotar region by VNC.
Okay. So it's an interesting story as such right now. So I used to work with Wildlife Institute of India from 2009, and I stayed there till 2012. So I was on my leave and I was visiting Dhawal Patel. So okay, so he told me that Anirudh, there is a very good place. I don't know if you have heard of this place or not. Okay, so we have this population of crocodiles in Charotar, and especially he mentioned the name of a Deva village, right? So he said it's a place worth seeing. I think you will like it. I said I actually at that time I had traveled throughout all over India actually. I had almost traveled to more than 15 national parks and tiger reserves actually, a lot of sanctuaries of course. So I had seen a lot of things, even very cryptic creatures also, people that have not seen in the wild. So I said, okay, what is so interesting? Let's see and go and see what is so interesting in such village. Okay, so I think me, you, and Vishal got together and went there, right? You remember, if you remember. And we saw that kids were playing cricket, right? And so one of the kids who had batted the ball, and the ball was lying very near to that crocodile. Okay, so we were afraid. Remember, like what will happen to that kid? No, yeah. So it was.
There was a den and
Yes. Yes, exactly. And we asked that kid like, why you're not afraid? And that kid said that, okay, this is a regular thing, and this crocodile is not going to do anything to me. See, I've seen throughout India, I have met people who live in national parks and tiger reserve. Okay, everybody hates wildlife. Okay, elephants, they hate elephants. Tigers, they hate tigers. Leopards, okay, because they destroy their properties and human lives. But this was a place people were not afraid of a species, of a creature which doesn't look nice. If you see a crocodile, it is not likable. Okay, it is scaly, very fearsome. Okay, it's ugly, but nobody likes it. But people here like it. So that was the moment I thought this is something interesting, because instead of studying wildlife in forest, okay, this is a place where we can learn things and which will be really important for conservation, right? So we discussed the project with Dhawal and actually he said, okay, we should go on full on for this project, right? And that's how then we wrote a proposal. Okay, we acquired initial funds from Rafford Foundation. Dilip Mathai Nature Conservation Trust also provided the additional funds, and we started that project. Okay, so initially we focused on population ecology, assessing the population, understanding the habitat. Okay, also included was the understanding of human and crocodile interactions, right? So that was the human animal interaction, crocodile human, how they are living together. That was the most interesting aspect of what VNC started, right? So with that programs and other research objectives, we actually gathered a lot of data. Okay, a lot of understanding came out of that research project. Okay, and once we published our findings of the crocodiles, actually a lot of people became interested in this place. International attention came to this place. Okay, what is this place? Okay, everywhere where the crocodiles are living, the people are hating it. People are killing the crocodiles. Crocodiles are killing people. Okay, there is a lot of conflict. The place like Vadodara, which is very near to Charotar region, Anand, okay, like 35 kilometers from here, there is a lot of conflict. Okay, you go to Narmada region, there is a lot of conflict. But here in Charotar, there is a kind of coexistence. Okay, there few negative interaction has happened, and this attracted a lot of international attention. As Jignesh Bhai has already mentioned, that Dr. Simon Puli became very interested in this project, and he actually stayed here for almost a month to study this relationship. And so I think our results, as soon as we published our result, VNC became an institution which actually did a very wonderful work, a solid work on crocodiles. Okay, and now we stand at a place at such a time that if people want to understand crocodiles and human relation, or if you want to see VNC has become an organization, people want to collaborate. Okay, we are become a kind of people actually look up to, that we should do things like VNC.
So I remember the statement given by Romulus that how this place missed by me.
Yes.
So what was there?
So as I think we all know that Romulus is considered as the father of Indian herpetology. Like he was the person who brought herpetology into main conservation concern or aspect. Okay, so he has traveled throughout India, like at very different parts of. If you read his books, written by his ex-wife and current Janki also. Okay, so he has traveled throughout India and different parts of India. Okay, so he is considered as a person who has seen everything actually in India. Yeah. Okay, but if he has missed this place, that means I think not only Romulus, I think a lot of scientists missed crocodile here actually. If we don't have a published data or data on crocodiles from any of the earlier studies. Okay, it's only when we started collecting data that it became clear there is a good population of crocodiles in Charhotar. Right? And as our research program was moving ahead, we also thought that why not involve local people also. So we also started involving local people, local youth especially, who became interested. And if you remember, like when we started collecting data and we went to Malataj, okay, that Jilesh Patel, yes, our volunteer, okay, now he's doing a bit.
He was in school.
He was in school that time.
Now he is full-time
volunteering
with us.
Okay, so like we had these all people, youths from different villages that started working with us. And so we also got a lot of support from different local leaders, village leaders, Gram Panchayat, Sarpanch, and everybody. Okay. We also started working with the local schools. We started conducting education programs. Actually, you were the person who did all this actually, you were the stronghold of that thing. So you actually did a lot of education program. I think we did more than 45 to 50 schools that time, right? And covered more than 10,000 students under that crocodile education program. Okay, you were mentioned in Century Asia for that, right? Yeah. So anyway, so we started including the local people, the students of the school kids of the local villages. So that time we also thought that also we need to invite people, let people see this place.
Yes.
Like, there is a place like Charhotar where people and crocodile actually live peacefully, coexist together.
So I remember Bharat Pathak's statement. Mm-hmm. He was once told in one documentary that protecting the protected species in protected area is very easy. But protecting the protected species outside the protected area
is very difficult.
It quite hard.
It's very hard. It's challenging, very challenging.
Because crocodile is Schedule 1 species, yes, and they are outside the protected area in Charhotar. So we have started this citizen science program, as you mentioned, that we invite students. So tell me about this citizen science. What is citizen science?
Yes. So as I was saying that as we were involving the local community, we also thought that why not people invite people from other places and kind of let them see this place also, experience this place. So that's how the idea of Charhotar crocodile came into the mind actually. So it was the idea. It is it's a citizen science. So let me tell you what is a citizen science actually. Okay. So all over the world, scientists are doing the research work, right? And it's traditionally it has been done that way only. But within last few years, there has been a very kind of new concept has come. Why not take help from kind of people, simple people, layman people, people doing different jobs, people living in different parts of the world so they can also contribute to science, to conservation or different projects. NASA runs different citizen science programs. US actually runs a lot of different citizen science programs for a lot of years now. Citizen science is a very new concept in India very recently, but I think it's within last decade, a lot of institution and organization has been implementing citizen science program where a person, irrespective of his age, education or experience or qualification, can contribute to a research thing. Okay, so in Charhotar crocodile count, we invite people from all over India, irrespective of their education, anything. Okay, they come here, they stay for 2 days, they stay together, they interact with each other. Okay, then we teach them how to assess the population. They go to different villages, ponds and everything. They see the habitat, they see the landscape, they see the crocodile. Okay, not only that, we also ask them to meet the local villagers also. Okay, we ask them to interact with them, how to live, how the local people live with them, what they think about crocodiles, what is the tolerance level, how they tolerate the species. Tolerance is a very is the biggest concept. If science and conservation projects have been implemented over the world, but a lot of programs have been failed. Because they were research oriented. Okay, they were not more often kind of involving people also, local people. So unless you involve local people, the conservation project cannot be successful. So we have to teach them tolerance, and what we did in the education programs. Okay, so that's how Charotar Crocodile Count started, a citizen science program, and now I think it has become a very very famous program. People actually they say that I want to be part of this program. Whatever fee you will charge will come. Okay, I think till now more than 700 people have actually participated in these programs, have learned the techniques of monitoring crocodiles count, understanding people's perception. Okay, all these techniques they have learned.
Charotar Crocodile Count was started with only 30 volunteers.
Yes. Long back, 30 volunteers.
VNC's volunteers.
Yes, a few volunteers, VNC volunteers, and a few outsiders. But now we have, like every year, we have 150 volunteers every year. Unfortunately, this year we could not do the program because of the COVID situation. We could not invite people from outside. But let's see if things go smoothly and things settle down. We can invite people next year. So that's how the Crocodile Count started.
And Dr. Vyas also helped in this project.
Yes, so
part of this project.
Absolutely.
With his guidance, we started this.
Absolutely. Project. So I think when planning this project, we went to meet him. Okay, and all we got him on the table as the advisor of the project, and he has been a collaborator, a friend, and has been helping in different projects. I think he has never said no to any of our initiative that we want to involve him.
He's always there.
Yes, he's always there. I think he's retired, but still he is in the field. He wants to go in the field. So he has been a pillar of our crocodile conservation. And we also had a help from Soham Mukherjee also. He's been a collaborator with us for long now. So that's how we started our crocodile conservation initiative. Right?
And when lockdown started and this COVID situation happened, we started a thing called Croc Watch.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about that also.
Yeah. So what is as I told you, the COVID thing has happened within 2 years. We have been suffering with this almost. So we were thinking this year we will not be inviting people to participate in this program. Okay, so we do also this wetland watch in the summer.
Yes.
Okay, it's a kind of a crocodile count also, where we do the night counting of the crocodiles. Okay, so that time we thought, okay, this time we are not inviting people. Then how to involve people? This program was to involve people from outside. Okay, locals go and see crocodiles, but it's for the people who live outside. They don't get to see the crocodiles every day. So it was a program for them. So without involving them, it was not going to do anything, fulfill the purpose of the program. So we thought, let's do a kind of, that lot of virtual programs are ongoing. All the conferences, workshops are now online, and webinars and everything, training programs and everything is now online. So we consulted our tech team. Okay, so about which the Jeet Suthar will tell you more. So we thought we have to do something that they can also participate in this program. So we devised a portal. Okay, initially a website portal where people can from India, wherever they are, can contribute to data that we'll be collecting during the summer. Okay, but the idea actually grew. Okay, it was for a short term only. We thought it's a one-time program and we'll involve them for a short term only. But the idea grew. Actually, people participated a lot. People wanted such kind of program. So we thought, let's open this portal for throughout the year. Why not just for the season only? Let's open it throughout the year.
And not only for the mugger crocodiles, it's for gharials and saltwater crocodiles also.
Yeah. So that's how actually, if you are opening it for the year, so why not just restrict to Gujarat? Let's open it to the India and include the other species which are also found in India. Okay, the gharial and the saltwater crocodile. So we included all these 3 species, and we devised the portal. And we very recently have launched the beta version of the application that we have launched very recently, and the final version will be launched today on the 17th. Okay, today is the World Crocodile Day. Okay, we are launching the final version of the app, and so all the features and everything Jeet Suthar will tell you in detail, and how the feature works, how the application works, why we install or use those features. Right, so all this will be told you by Jeet Suthar.
That's where we are planning to scale up this app to a very international level, where there is something called eBird.
eBird, yeah.
So we are trying to scale up this app at that level. So anywhere in the world. I mean, anybody can upload the data,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
can be shared with everyone around the world. Yeah.
So not only that, actually we have been kind of contacted by people from other countries. Okay, I wouldn't name currently unless it is until it is finalized, right? But I have been kind of people have been sending inquiries that I want to be part of this program. Actually, can we start in our country? So for right now we'll be for the India only. Let's see how it goes, and then we can maybe open it for other countries as well. But that's a future thing, we don't know. But that's what we plan.
And let me mention that this app and this portal is its own kind only for the crocodiles.
Yes, this is the first of its kind in the world. Actually, nobody has done such an app for crocodiles. People have been doing some similar works, but in a very small scale. This is kind of a this is a big arrow in the we have shot a big arrow right now.
It's a beautiful animal. It has survived the Jurassic Age.
Yes.
It's been on Earth for more than 200 million years now. But last 100 to 150 years, humans have encroached upon their habitat, and they're almost at a level where in India they are termed as Schedule 1 animal, which is threatened. So it's upon us, upon our generation, upon our future generations to protect this magnificent animal who has survived for such a long time.
Yes.
So it's up to us now. It's up to all of us throughout the world to protect this species.
And the devising of a portal had two agendas actually, right? One of the one was to involve people not from who has to come here only. People from all over the country can participate wherever they are, right? And the most important agenda was that we were using a lot of papers during the crocodile counts actually. People like 150 people coming here, 2 days staying 2 days. Okay, they like more than 1,000 papers were used during those 2 days, right? During conducting interviews, also sociological survey, also they are population counting, they are doing nest survey, they are doing habitat survey also. So a lot of paper was used. Okay, this is VNC is becoming paperless now. Okay, almost all of our work, documentation, everything is going online. Okay, and we have a target of becoming paperless within next 5 years. I think we will not be using paper within 5 years. So this fits our one of the agenda, becoming paperless. Okay, actually contributing to the conservation of environment. Okay, so it is one of the biggest thing that we are doing by using an application. We are not using paper now, right?
Overall action speaks more.
Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah.